and I am off to Shambhala here on YouTube, and I am an eBay seller, and I am sharing my eBay journey with everybody along the way. And hopefully, if you are just getting started with eBay, you will find my videos helpful as you see how I progress on my eBay journey. I am a part-time seller right now. I have a part-time job and kids, and I'm not doing this full-time, but I'm very happy with the results of what I'm seeing already. I'm just doing this part-time, so I'm looking forward to stepping up my game in the coming months, and hopefully you'll be able to see my numbers increase, and I'll be able to share with you my successes and failures. Now, right now, what I want to do is I want to show you how I do my bookkeeping, because I think some people might not be familiar with how to do bookkeeping, and then they might be getting bogged down with too much information. And I think I've really gotten my bookkeeping system down to the nitty-gritty, the bare minimums of the most important, crucial information that you need to A, analyze your business and know what your business is doing, and B, keep track of tax deductible expenses and things that you need to report for your taxes. Now, I do need to tweak it a little bit once I speak to my accountant. I'm sure I'm going to be tweaking this. I'm hoping to speak to him within the next month or so. And then I'm going to be tweaking my information a little bit, but I'm relatively knowledgeable about what kinds of things are tax deductible. Plus, not only that, I have a weekly bookkeeping ledger, an old-fashioned ledger that I showed you in another video. There will be a link for that down in the description. And they have a section that is that itemizes all of these different types of expenses that are typically tax deductible. Again, rules change, and you do need to talk to your accountant for whatever it is that you're doing. But you know, typically across the board, you know, there are certain expenses that you keep track of each category, and then you can get some kind of a tax write-off at the end of the year. So it's important. It just makes it easier if you're keeping track of it all along the way. And then again, it's good for analyzing and seeing where you're spending your money. And you're like, okay, so I spent $180 on shipping materials. What the heck? I got to cut that number down. Or can I cut that number down? Or, you know, that kind of thing. So it's just good to see where your money's going, regardless of whether you file taxes or not, which you should. Okay, so the first thing I do when I set out to do my weekly bookkeeping, and again, I only do weekly bookkeeping because I don't really do a big enough volume to do this every day, and weekly is fine. It takes me 20 minutes, bam, I'm done. So the first thing I do is I go into PayPal and I filter for the week. So this last week was October 6th through October 12th, the week ending October 12th. So that's a Monday through Sunday week. And then I would come down here and I would filter for payments received. And then I would click on this. And then afterwards I would do payments. Whoops, come back. And so right here you can see I've got it up right here, all of my payments received. So here's all the payments received, and that's including the money I received for shipping. And then over here are my PayPal fees. So I print this out and then I add them up in my spreadsheet in Google Drive. You could use an adding machine if you like, but I would recommend not doing it on a calculator and doing it either in a spreadsheet or with an adding machine so that you can check your numbers. I always check my numbers because, you know, 2 times out of 10 there's one number that got transposed in the list. So I always go through and check my columns of numbers. So come on, I gotta stop talking. I don't know why my computer is going slow. Okay, so there's my payments received. I print that out. There's an area, oh, there's an area over here for printing, and then, darn it, just not fast enough. And then you hit payment sent, or you filter to payment sent. So let's do that right now. And you can also, I typically check referrals and refunds, and you can go down these filters and see if there's anything that you think might apply for your week. Typically none of these other things apply for my week. I mean, maybe shipping, but that shipping comes up on payment sent, and I like to just have everything all on one page. I don't need to have like 10 different pages if I can avoid it that I'm printing out. So it usually goes faster than this. I don't know what is going on. I don't know if my Screencast-O-Matic system is slowing this system down or what, but okay, so here's my payments that I've sent. So you can see here's all my shipping. This one's actually a personal expense, and then usually every week I've got some money going to PayPal Giving Fund, and then a lot of times there's an expense for another business expense for like shipping supplies or some kind of equipment I might have purchased on eBay. And I actually like to purchase almost everything on eBay because it helps, well, for many, many reasons. Anyway, so then again, you would just come over here and print this out, and then I'll show you what I do with it once I print it out. And I do keep these in a file. So let's pull this up. So here's my payments from. This is usually the first thing I do because I like to add up the numbers. I really like to see my numbers, and look at, doesn't this total income look really good? My gross income for the week. I love that number, especially for somebody that does this part-time, very part-time. But what I do is, because my actual ledger, it has a little area for daily amounts, I add up each day, so you can see I've got it sort of all organized by day, and those are my totals. But it does add up to this, and then I add up my PayPal fees. And again, you want to make sure to use adding machine, or add these up in your spreadsheet so you can check these numbers and make sure you've entered them all correctly so that these totals are correct. So once I know I've got that correct, then bam, there's my numbers. Okay, and then I do the same thing with my payments sent for my expenses. So here I add up all the shipping. This one gets crossed out because it's personal. The only other expense I had was the donation. So there's my totals. And then you end up with a spreadsheet. Or you take this information and you enter it into your spreadsheet. And this is my very simplified spreadsheet that is based on my weekly bookkeeping ledger. And I'm going to be tweaking this probably by the first of the year. I'll have a new video showing you how you can do this with just how you can keep track of the most important pieces of information on just a Google Drive spreadsheet for free. And it's so easy to make. I can't even tell you how easy this is. And it's free. And it's based, again, on my weekly bookkeeping ledger. So by January of next year, I'm probably going to ditch my ledger system and just be putting everything into Google Drive. But again, I need to tweak it. So this was the first video on how to get all of your expenses together. You know what? Actually, I'm not done. There's one other thing. If you have purchased inventory, or you've gone outsourcing and you have receipts from thrift stores and things of that nature, you want to save those receipts, and you want to take all of these printout sheets and you just staple your receipts. See, look at my little staple thing there. You staple those to the back. So that way you have everything for the whole week accounted for. So if you ever have to go in, everything is all there together in a hard copy in one file. And my file, I suppose if you were doing larger numbers, your file you might have to split it up into like quarterly files, but By the end of the year, I imagine my file won't be any bigger than 2 inches wide. So it's not like it's that hard to keep, you know, the hard copies. And you got to have a place to put your receipts. And I like to have my receipts organized in the, you know, where they need to be, you know, where they're going to apply. So just in the future, it's just going to make everything so much easier to go back and check if you need to go back and check. Let's see. So yeah, that's the first part. And then so once I got all of my information together, then I would go in and fill this out in the spreadsheet. So that's going to be part 2, me showing you how I do my spreadsheet. So thanks for watching, and be sure to look out for part 2. Thanks.